Hi. If you're not new here, you know I don't waste my time talking about drama, AI slop, other content creators, celebrities, etc., unless I really have to. My primary focus is scammers and large societal problems, and this video is no different. It just so happens that one of these slop creators got on my radar for a really bad reason, and that led me down a rabbit hole to a much bigger issue. Sponsors Segway. Shout out to Orado for real, for real. So y'all have seen me talk about Aura services mostly on the desktop, but every now and then I'm on the go or I just don't have time to log in and I need to check it on my phone. There's some advantages to that. And of course, I can check credit score, transactions, all that stuff. But even like the workflow when I go through data brokers is really smooth and efficient. This one's particularly important for me. I use a lot of passwords for a lot of different services and I need to pull one up pretty quickly sometimes. And getting to that sub menu on the phone's workflow is super intuitive. I needed to log into my bank. I found the bank. I got the password. It's that simple. Make your life easier, protect your online presence, and try out Aura for 2 weeks. Absolutely free by using my link, which is on screen. And I appreciate Aura for supporting this video. So I recently got back on Instagram after a year off because I'm looking to use it in a more personalized, human way. One or two people watching this might not know this if you haven't been on there, but they have a partner app called Threads that's basically Meta's Twitter clone. The first time I came back to Threads, this is what I saw. And this one.
They don't need that, bro. Come on, bro. About that, you guys make a lot of money, right? We'll be nice. Okay, but we're trying to help. We'll be nice. Not over here. I understand you don't need no.
After this can rain bet real quick, please.
With liquor. All right, we don't need. What you doing giving them liquor?
I just run on rain bet. Letting you know, this is perfectly legal.
These clips lit a serious fire across IG and probably spread much further on the other platforms since he posted them, considering how large his following is. It takes one glance on mute to realize this creator, Christian Sansbury, who has an IG handle I'll never say out loud, is sponsored by the gambling site.
Rain bet, rain bet, rain bet, rain bet.
To keep things simple, I'm going to refer to him as Loser Boy for the remainder of this video. I could spend hours discussing how exploitative and cruel this particular type of content creation is, and I will explore that in the first section, but I'll also discuss the companies co-signing it on the off chance we can go for these dudes' pockets. The links in his bio include his management company, which led me to a lot of other creators making similarly low effort content for what I imagine is a mostly Gen Alpha audience. I know I'm on the unk threshold, so I don't pretend to understand Gen Alpha's entertainment, and I can't judge them for watching it. We had the Tall T era, we allowed Soulja Boy to make legitimate hit songs, and Loiter Squad existed, never forget.
I had to clean my dick earlier, but that was at the bathroom. Come on in.
It's counterproductive to attack audiences for liking things anyway. Disclaimers wrapped, let's get to it. There's an overarching theme to most of Loser Boy's posts. He calls these collections of mostly black unhoused people his homeless army.
What do you want? What do you want it? No! Sir, where are your buzzballs at? They're out there. Where are they? Out here. Is he with us?
What this implies is already extremely exploitative and racist. And you'd be right if you guessed that he's dangling money and gifts in front of desperate people to get them to do outlandish shit. The categories of things he has them do are ding-dong ditching, aka harassment or disorderly conduct, throwing things like flour at moving vehicles, aka reckless endangerment or disorderly conduct, violating the rules in stores like the Home Depot, trespassing, pretending to shoplift TVs from Target, which is petty theft, and social media trends like pouring milk in their pants or doing the cinnamon challenge. Y'all remember that one? Other times he makes fast food workers' lives difficult or hands out other types of liquor or just a bucket of loose cigarettes. I'm an internet vet at this point, so my first thought after going through all this footage was that it was all staged. People got paid off, paid actors were used for authority figures, etc. This is a highly profitable game he's playing, so none of this would be particularly difficult to pull off. I thought that until I did more research. Apparently, Loser Boy and his Loser Boy homie Taylor Reeves got arrested by an off-duty cop when they climbed on top of the freezers in Walmart last spring. Then went on to throw loaves of bread at asset protection employees. Taylor tried to run and got grabbed, then ratted on Loser Boy. He tried to run too, but I mean, look at him. They both got booked and charged for harassment, disorderly conduct, and criminal trespassing, then left jail after an hour. They posted bail. Believe it or not, Loser Boy sent a statement to the same paper that reported on this, defending himself. Quote, I look at it as a harmless joke. In years from now, the people getting bread tossed in their cart will laugh at the experience, because it's an experience that will only happen once. End quote. I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of shoppers or asset protection while they try to get the loseriest boy of all time down off the freezers. And I feel like I wouldn't be laughing. That shit is not funny, but humor is subjective. As for the homeless army shit, that's intensely disrespectful, highly racist, and exploitative, as I mentioned before. I'm actively trying to resist the temptation to just report on a story and wag my finger, because that achieves nothing. Let's shift focus to who pushes this bullshit out via sponsorships. Prank channels don't have a particularly long shelf life, but I'm sure RainBet is paying him tens of thousands for each one of these videos. Source, I'm a full-time YouTuber. I've never worked with a gambling company, but I have a feel for what they pay based on reporting I've read, other creators, and what I received for some of the sponsors I've worked with. Tens of thousands of dollars in his case, for sure, based on his audience. Brief pause on the video for a sec. I want to ask y'all a question. Doesn't matter if you make anything, doesn't matter if you're creative, or if you've ever signed a contract to advertise something. Let's pick a round number. If I paid you $10,000, would you make this kind of content? Reels where you round up desperate unhoused people and use them to get clicks, harass minimum wage employees, and ruin people's day for driving 30 miles per hour in a 25 just to push a gambling app mid-reel? Is $10,000 enough? How about 50,000? 100,000. I guarantee you I got some yeses before I even got to 50, and that's what I want y'all to keep in your heads as we continue. Keep that number you said yes to in mind. Loser Boy's bio has a couple links in it. One for the RainBet platform, and the other is his email, which gives us another piece of info. His management company. Midnight Sailing Management manages a lot of creators in both short form and long form. And funnily enough, he isn't on their site anywhere. What we do see is a whole roster of other mostly young creators who make low effort, random videos for large audiences. I did the investigation for y'all already, and several of them have gambling platforms linked too. I've discussed the epidemic of gambling before in my episodes about sports betting and state lotteries. As I told you in the intro, I'm here to focus on what can move the needle in some way or inform y'all about a grift, not meaningless criticism that none of them is going to care about anyway. Let's start with the big one that's been covered by anybody discussing crypto gambling companies: stake.
Abracadabra, my bitch way better, my wrist Bitch parquet, I snook on the face, green diamonds, I fucked up my bladder.
If you have any interest in this space, or if you followed a certain Canadian rapper before he got barbecued by Kendrick, you've heard plenty about them already. They signed a $100 million deal with Drake, sponsor hella athletes, mostly in the UFC.
I only fuck with steak.
And they even have a stake Formula One team. That being said, their success didn't come from nowhere. Stake is designed to take advantage of social media. It's easy to clip, easy to engage viewers with since it intentionally leans into short form entertainment techniques. And it's gamified to hell. Most apps are gamified now, but adding that layer to something like a crypto gambling app is a new level of disregard for the end consumers. I say that, but it's not like we should expect anything else from these company founders in the first place. If you're concerned about transparency and ethical business practices, you don't register in Curacao to dodge regulations. You also don't avoid your own home country. Edward Craven, one of the co-founders, is from Australia, and they don't even have a license to operate there. They don't operate here in the US either because it's outlawed, but they do encourage using VPNs to get around that restriction. Okay, people will correct me if I don't clear this up. Stake.us is the American version of Stake, and it's a sweepstakes casino as opposed to a real money gambling site. Important distinction, but still, it's gambling. I get it. The US is just one of at least 30 countries Stake operates in without authorization. They claim that they remove American players, but they've been sued for knowingly allowing it. and providing instructions on how to do so. I switched my VPN to a country where they legally operate and got access immediately. This is the foundation of a company that has overrun our entertainment, sports, and many other legal businesses, and the type of company fueling Gen Alpha's version of a prank channel. Again, we had prank channels. We invented them shit, so I'm not criticizing y'all. Just so we can establish that this is a massive industry-wide problem and not just one country. Let's look at the one advertised by Loser Boy, RainBet. Same exact layout, same cartoonish games, sports book, everything you'd expect from these casino sites. They have a live ticker of everyone placing bets to give you the impression that this is popular and you should do it too. It's moving so fast I can barely read the usernames, but what I want y'all to focus on is the right sidebar, where those numbers are. The fact that I'm putting these sites on screen could be misconstrued as platforming them, so I have to show y'all that beyond the mathematical impossibility of earning money over any consistent time period, the live bets we're watching on screen result in way more losses than wins. You probably know that casinos are built to take your money, and you definitely know that if you're my age. But these influencers aren't targeting 35-year-olds. They're targeting people who have to use their parents' credit cards to play in the first place, or people who don't have a credit score. The people who lie about their ages to access sites like this, even though it didn't ask me my age on the registration screen. Seriously, all you have to do is check a box promising you're over 18, while Ryan Garcia and some white guy stare into your soul. We've established that there's numerous offshore gambling companies paying influencers in America to be idiots while pushing gambling on children. Amazing. What can we do about it? We can report their posts into oblivion. We can also blow up their management company, Midnight Sailing, to point this out. I don't usually advocate for harassing people or entities on this channel, and I won't start now, but reporting posts and communicating en masse with management companies doesn't qualify as harassment. I didn't tell you to send threats, though, to be clear. No matter where you stand on gambling and crypto as a consenting adult, I think most of us would agree that teenagers and even most young adults need to steer clear of this level of financial devastation, and that the net impact of these companies invading the country is negative. Let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments. Fuck Loser Boy, and I'll catch y'all next time. Stay healthy.